In 2006, in the bustling city of Kiev, Ukraine, something extraordinary happened that would baffle even the sharpest minds. Picture this. Police receive a call about a confused man causing a stir. When they arrive at the scene, they come face to face with a young man named Sergei Ponomarenko. But there's something peculiar about Sergei. He's scared, dressed in bizarre old-fashioned clothes, and carrying a vintage camera. Little did the police know they had stumbled upon a real-life time traveler. As the officers requested Sergei's identification, they were taken aback. The ID he handed them was from a bygone era, a country that no longer existed, the Soviet Union. Ukraine had once been a part of the Soviet Union, but it had dissolved years ago. Seeing such an ID was a rarity, especially from someone who appeared to be in his 20s. What added to the mystery was Sergei's birth date on the ID, 1932. The math didn't add up. Curiosity piqued. The police asked Sergei what day he believed it was. To their astonishment, he confidently replied, April 23, 1958. At this point, the police decided it was time to take Sergei to a cozy little room to have a chat with a doctor. Dr. Pablo Kudrikov became the caretaker of this enigmatic time traveler, and rather than dismissing Sergei's claims as delusion, the doctor decided to play along. Dr. Kudrikov probed Sergei, asking him to recall how he ended up in the year 2006, despite firmly believing it was still 1958. Sergei's response was captivating. It was daytime, and I wanted to go for a walk in the city. I took my camera, but when I left my house, I saw a peculiar object in the sky. It had an unusual bell shape and was flying in a manner that defied explanation. It's hard to put into words what I witnessed. Perhaps it would be better to look at the photos I captured. Intrigued by Sergei's words, Dr. Kudrikov laid his hands on the antique camera. It turned out to be a rare Yashica Flex, a brand recognizable to the doctor, who happened to be a photographer himself. However, there was a problem. The camera used a film that hadn't been produced since the 1970s. Determined to unlock the secrets within, Dr. Kudrikov sought the expertise of a photography aficionado named Adam Poizner. Adam carefully extracted the film and made a startling discovery. The film had been manufactured in 1956 and was in impeccable condition. With bated breath, he developed the reel, and what they saw in those old photographs left them dumbfounded. The images depicted a Kiev of yesteryear, cars, clothing, and even street signs, all from the 1950s. Strangely, there were also pictures of buildings that no longer existed, and in the midst of it all, there was Sergei, enjoying a lovely day with his girlfriend, wearing the same peculiar attire he had been found in. But the most jaw-dropping image on the reel was undoubtedly a snapshot of a bell-shaped UFO. Sergei, true to his word, had captured the bizarre object on camera. When questioned about this otherworldly photograph, he asked the doctor, "Now, are you convinced that I'm telling the truth? I still don't understand what that object is or how I ended up in this year. The moment I took that picture and looked down at the camera, everything changed, and I found myself here." Dr. Kudrikov, armed with a scientific mind, proposed a hypothesis. He suggested that if the UFO was indeed an alien spacecraft, it might have whisked Sergei across the universe at the speed of light, resulting in time dilation as per Einstein's theory of relativity. For Sergei, barely any time had passed, but on Earth, a staggering 47 years had flown by. That night, Sergei retreated to his room, and that's where the trail goes cold. The hospital's security cameras recorded his entry but failed to capture his exit. The room had only one exit, heavily monitored and fortified with barred windows. Yet, as if by magic, Sergei vanished into thin air, leaving behind his camera, the perplexing photographs, and a mind-boggling mystery for the police to solve. But the plot thickens. Investigators delving deeper into the case stumbled upon records of a Sergei Ponomarenko who had gone missing in Kiev back in 1960. To their astonishment, they also managed to track down Sergei's girlfriend from the photographs, now in her 70s. She revealed that Sergei had indeed disappeared in 1958, but had returned a few days later, the exact amount of time he had spent in 2006. However, in the 1970s, he vanished again, never to be seen or heard from again. Years after his disappearance, the woman received a strange photograph in the mail from Sergei himself. The photo, dated 2050, depicted an older Sergei with a mustache, standing against the backdrop of a Kiev skyline adorned with towering skyscrapers. He wrote a note, promising his imminent return, a promise that, for reasons unknown, went unfulfilled. The story of Sergei Ponomarenko has become legendary, hailed as the most well-documented case of time travel in history. The enigma of his vanishing act, the perplexing photographs, and the unanswered questions continue to captivate the minds of those who look to explore the realms of the unknown.